Hey everybody, this is Professor Walsh going over the lab book, and in this video I'm going to talk about some of the general considerations when dealing with your lab notebook. Now you're going to go to the store and you're going to buy 3 composition notebooks. I don't care if they're multicolored like these or if they're black, or if they are if they're quad ruled, which means they have graph paper. Those are the ones that I prefer, but it's no big deal. Or if it's lined, college ruled, wide ruled, it's fine. But the requirements are that the lab notebook is a bound laboratory notebook. That's because in science you don't want to ever give the impression that the integrity of your lab book has been compromised. You're going to hear that a lot when I'm talking about this. So here's the way that you're going to have it set up. Okay, now you're going to have you're going to open up the front cover, and you're going to have this page. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to label that first page table, not tabular, table of contents. Okay, I'm sorry about my stylus. It doesn't work very well sometimes. And then every time you put an experiment in your lab notebook, you're going to give me a detailed table of contents so that I know what page to find things at. Okay, never end a sentence in a preposition. What page I can find things at, yo. So, so let's say we're doing lab 9. This lab is called cyclohexanone. Okay, a detailed table of contents is going to be you're going to take the this. And for every section that's in the grading rubric, you're going to provide a page number for it. So you're going to then say general procedure, and then you're going to say page 108. Whatever. Okay, and then what's the next thing? The next thing is let's see, physical constants, right? Okay, so the CHP goes at the end of the book, so we're not going to, I guess we can put that there, but let's see, so we can go CHP, and then that's going to be part of the appendix, and we're going to number that A1, okay, and then we're going to go physical constants, and we're going to say that starts on page 110. Okay, and you're going to go through and you're going to give me a detailed table of contents so I can find those sections very straightforwardly. Okay, a couple other things that you need to keep in mind. When you do a lab, okay, the lab notebook opens to here. You only use this side, you only use the right side to write anything that's going to be graded. Okay, that's the formal side of the lab. This side will never be graded. You can use it for scrap paper. Okay, but this side is not ever graded. Okay, never please put me in the position where you put something on the left side to be graded as part of the lab report. Okay, you can put calculations or notes, or you can tell me that like Walsh is the best, like whatever it is that you want to put over here. Like all of this stuff is your own personal reference. Maybe you're doing Prelab notes, they go here. Only the right side of the lab notebook is used, the right facing page. Also, you only ever write in black pen. Okay, there's all sorts of stories about how people used pencil and things like that. That is so people know what you have written in your lab notebook. You don't ever want to compromise the integrity of your lab notebook by writing something in pencil that could have been erased and could be falsified in case you have to submit your lab notebook in a court of law. Now I get it. In organic lab, you're not going to do that, most likely. But you're also not going to do that, most likely, in real life as well. But if you need to, you don't want to have to go through and have your losing out on millions of dollars in a patent lawsuit because you wrote in pencil because the integrity of your lab book isn't where it needs to be. Also, you're going to have 3 composition notebooks, right? Composition notebooks. You're going to number those composition notebooks volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. Okay? As such, when you number the pages, and again, we're only numbering the right-hand pages, all of these pages in this book are going to start with 100 because it's volume 1. All of the pages are going to start with 200 because it's volume 2, and all the pages here are going to start with 300 because it's volume 3. So again, quick reference, right? If I know that it's page 10 something, there we go, we got it. So the table of contents, like we did back here, this is going to be page 101, and you can number it here or you can number it here, however you want to do it, okay? But then you're only going to number this side of the page. You're not going to number this because you don't use that side of the page, okay? And so that's cool. The last thing, maybe there's other things, but the last thing that I can think of right now as I'm speaking is between the table of contents, TOC, table of contents, and your first lab entry, you want to skip about 7 to 8 pages. So your first entry on your table of contents is going to be on page 101, and then the first lab entry is going to be on, that's the table of contents, the first lab entry is going to be on page 108 or maybe 109. That's so you have enough room to give a detailed table of contents for each lab that you put into that lab journal, okay? And so when it comes time to grade, again, let me pull it up. All of these things go into this part of the technique. The first technique that I have for my grading scheme is how well is your lab book set up? Are you using black pen? You're not skipping pages, or you're skipping the right amount of pages. Your table of contents is updated. Your page numbers are good, etc., etc. Okay, so that is some of the general concerns and general setup requirements that we have for a lab journal in any of Mr. Walsh's organic chemistry lab.